Okay, Nick Huston for Gotham Sound and Communications, here with Peter Schneider from Gotham Sound and Communications, wrapping up the Gotham Expo 2021. We wanted to talk a little bit about the live rig that you've masterminded that has allowed us to broadcast these things live over the internet in HD from number 5. So let's talk a little bit from, let's start from the capture point, right? So we've got sound and camera and other camera, but let's talk a little bit about the sound workflow.
Sure, so we'll start with sound. We got some Shure wireless mics. They go to Jason. Say hi to Jason. Jason, say hi. And so they go into his 888 mixer recorder.
I'm gonna just step over and
I'm
gonna do a lot of B-roll on this one.
And Jason, correct me, jump in, correct me if I'm wrong, but we have some auto mix, we have some noise assist, and so that's the sort of capture part of it. He is sending the mix wirelessly to our A camera, which is here. And that's with electro hop, and that's what you're hearing.
So that's an LR right there.
Yep, and that stream goes to Jared in the control room.
All right, so Jared, you can hear us. Why don't you just say hello? I'm hoping that you waved. Okay. Great, so that's the audio capture part. One thing I should point out is that the audio is integrated into our comm system, and we'll get to the comm system a little bit later.
That's right.
But I have this fancy little fob here that I keep wanting to talk into like a Star Trek communicator, even though I don't have to. But you've set it up so I can push this button.
That's right. So we'll get to the comm system, and even before we do that, we should say, we wanted Jared, and Jared asked, to be able to stay distant. And so he is in the control room, which is his apartment, and he is receiving the A camera stream, and he's receiving the B camera stream.
Right.
And we'll talk about how that happens in a second. In terms of comms, he is on an app called Agent IC, and if we come around to the front,
back to B cam.
We have an LQ, an LQR, which is handling comms on our end. And so I suppose if we go around back, it's not super sexy, but you can see in the back here, there's a bunch of what are called 2-wire ports, and one of those goes to an old-fashioned RTS belt pack, and that's how I talk from the cart. And then there's a bunch of 4-wire ports. One of them is your Shure mic when you press the fob, and only when you press the fob.
So I'm going to press the fob, and we'll see what happens all of a sudden.
Well, let me turn on the display.
Okay, let's turn on the display.
You'll see.
And I'm going to push the button in 3, 2, 1, and here are my levels going into channel 2. Hello.
Well, it's not so much that, you'll see when you push the button that the fob light lights up there.
Where?
Right there.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
okay, great. And you should hear me on your microphone.
Right.
Oh,
It's probably weird. But the point is that it's off air when there's not another open mic, and Jared can talk privately through the IFB in the app. And he can communicate to you, and he can communicate to Jason, and to me when I'm listening on the belt pack.
And Jared, why don't you say something to me so I can hear you, and we can have the lights light up.
Will it light up?
Let's see. Jared, can you say something to me so we'll see levels on the IFB?
Yeah, there it is.
All right, Jared was just talking about how he screwed up the cut. From a power perspective, we're going into a Power Star Life, so everything is DC powered.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool.
And let's talk about connectivity.
Great. Okay. So let's. So first off, we are. So we're fully mobile, right? So we've used this cart. We're DC powered. We've got. Say a little bit more about how the ClearComm is going over the internet.
Sure. So now we get to connectivity, and we have a PepWave Max HD4 5G, which is 4 5G modems. It's combining all of those beaming it to an Amazon server, and then it's taking the video signals. So the handheld camera is going over Wi-Fi into the PepWave, and it's sending a signal SRT stream to Jared via the Amazon server. And that JVC camera, the main camera, is also natively has an SRT encoder, and again, beaming it to Jared. Jared is using OBS to switch between the two streams, and he's adding graphics, and he's directing us. And that's the connectivity there. In terms of Agent IC, the LQR has an Ethernet port. It also gets fed into the PepWave modem. And then that actually, the way we have it, it points to another LQR at our office. And from there, it kind of distributes it to anybody listening on the app. So we're always trying to think of redundant paths. We don't want to put everything into one basket. If one thing goes down, we want to be able to communicate. I suppose I can show the app on my phone, and we can really have some interesting feedback. So Jared, can you talk to us over the comm system?
Talking to you over the comms. Talking for delays in slight weird ways.
Sorry, yeah, I figured it'd be weird. All right, so that's the app, and anybody that's authorized can use the app. It's I mean it's something that I've been really thinking about a lot during the pandemic. Little pieces. I'm using the laptop to monitor the Facebook feedback. And then for audience questions, if there ever was one, or sometimes I would read it out. We have a remote audio voice of God mic and into a
step right over here just so we can see you
Yeah.
as well. So we've got the voice of God mic
into a 83 transmitter, which goes to Jason, and he's feeding all that.
And Jason does have a shotgun microphone, not just for himself, but just in case something goes wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So let's take a quick closer look at the PEP link.
Oh yeah, let's do
or
that. First of all,
PepWave.
I guess we'll start here. So these are 4 MIMO antennas for the cell network, and they
One
do
per
5G.
modem, right?
One per modem, and they do capable of 5G. Which there is a kind of irony about this, which is that basically it's the blocks and frequencies that we gave up for 5G is allowing us to do this. That's a Wi-Fi antenna. And then we're in 900 for the IFB system, and that's sort of living there. This foot foam was a late addition, so nobody got a chunk taken out of their skull. And then if we come around the front, I mean, that's kind of the point of it, I think, is it's not so exciting, right? It's a cellular router. It's the 5G version. It's got 4 modems, 2 SIM cards per modem. Basically, if you don't have unlimited cell plans, you have the ability to quickly switch to another cell. That's really it. One interesting thing, 4 modems, but if you look back here, 16 antenna connections. Oh, Nick, you are going dangerously deep.
There we go.
I wonder if that's even holding the stream. That's hilarious.
We'll see.
All right. Anyways, so that is that.
Cool.
I think here let's come around the front because I know you want to thank some people.
I do.
Welcome to New York. I just want to thank you guys, the crew, all of the Gotham people for making this happen. Number 5. I mean, it was really unbelievable.
Yeah, the vendors, the customers, and people
yeah.
that showed up, absolutely.
Yeah, thanks. Absolutely.
It was very, very cool. One quick question that I have, I just see a box here that I'm not sure what it's doing. I just want to ask. So we've got a 411 here and another T4. What are they doing?
Right. So you have your own mix minus. Which was on the bottom. This is the way in for Jason, for the sound person.
Yeah.
And also a way for Jason to hear comms through his mixer.
I see.
So that's what the T4 is doing.
So we've got one T4 going to Jason, one T4 going to me.
Yeah, I ended up getting stuck having to wear 2 headphones, but I definitely didn't want anybody else to get stuck that way.
I see.
So,
Okay. Well, one thing I will say that's interesting, and it'll segue into something I want to mention. So I've been mixing these housewives reality reunions for a long time,
Yeah.
and I've been really fortunate to know Andy Cohen, and I feel like that's made me feel more comfortable in front of camera hosting these things.
Totally.
So just shout out to Andy Cohen, who's like kind of an idol to me.
That's great.
But I finished the most recent one a couple days ago. I got back to the store at 2 in the morning.
Yep.
And you were here
Yes.
setting this up.
Had another hour and a half to go, yeah.
Yeah, so I thought I had a long day, but you had a really long day.
Well, you know, look, I mean, we have a whole team of people supporting us. I mean, we're incredibly fortunate. So,
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess...
Watch your back, because
here we
let's
go.
let them... No.
They're crossing. All right, don't die, guys.
Yeah.
Do you see what's going on? We're reeling some stuff back.
This is the Shure rig.
We're live on Facebook.
We are.
We are live.
We certainly
Yes.
are. So the one thing to mention, and then we'll wrap up, is that this is something that we do. It's not necessarily branded, but you could call it Gotham Labs. Is that we do set up these 4G, 5G redundant systems. These are things that you can rent in our rental department for set, for streaming, for use with Frame.io,
Yes.
for use in a production office.
Absolutely.
We do it all the time.
Yes.
So for ultra high band, ultra throughput Wi-Fi on set, like that's something that we do.
I like the expression, we eat our own dog food.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We do eat our own dog food.
Yes.
But even in terms of like what's new and what's next, if you have a problem and it's something that you want to collaborate with us on, we are always interested in working with people to solve that. And I think this is one of those things that this is one of those instances that we've solved our own problems.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that being said, I hope the video looks great on Facebook. You can always watch us on GothamSound.tv. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, not Instagram, it's Twitter and Facebook, and email us at info@gothamsound.com. Peter, anything else you want to say?
No, thanks to everybody for making this happen.
Okay, great. Thanks. Take care.
Thanks for watching.